Tetris. How bad do you think Tetris Ultimate was for the 3DM?
Oh,
I remember getting it, never playing it, not once. I didn't like it. I had like 5 seconds of it. Like the other one, I was like, okay, that happened. I'm about to test it and see how bad it is. Oh, hey, look. Tomodachi Life is now a thing. YouTube's a thing, because remember, this is a new system, so I'm getting all this shit for...
Right.
I don't want a demo of Kirby. Oh, they gave me Tomodachi Life. I might as well try that. I heard it was fun. I heard that motherfucker was fun.
I hope you enjoy it.
I never tried it.
Because...
I hope so too, because I'm sick of Xbox. Maybe we should stop trying to force a new reign for Bethesda and teach Microsoft a lesson first.
Right.
Because, again, I know who it is. My phone just pinged and said so. So we do know that Eric and Outlaw, we gave Eric a chance to
come back and talk to us.
We gave them a chance to be buddy-buddy again and offer them if something happened. We can put bygones be bygones and all of this nonsense. He got mad and screwed me over. And I don't like that. The fact that he waited till now to run electricity so hard to my device that the thing that runs my Xbox upstairs exploded. Likely all over that, because I just got a message just now from Discord. I had him blocked, and I'm getting messages from him saying that he flat out just said that you shouldn't be offering me anything because I'm the one who offers you this stuff. Like he's in control of the situation. He acts like a Brotherhood of Steel god, and it turns out he's not. And he gets anal when someone, punishes him. It's really pissing me off, though, because, again, I offered him to be friendly. But for that, I got my stuff out. I can't even play my Xbox anymore, because Xbox says you're able to play offline about just about any game that's what I've heard. That's a lie. They're lying to us about as much as Todd does. Because if you don't have it, What? Oh, there it is. Say download the demo. Tomodachi Life. I have to do I have to download the system, the demo at the shop. I used to give it to you on the shop. All I had to do was offer them a new
opportunity. That's all it took.
We're screwed, so. Oh, I have to have the Miiverse stuff. That's something I didn't start. I don't think I have a new. Damn it. Forgot that. I'm liking the new system. This is very, nice. I'm looking at all the new system stuff, or Miiverse stuff.
But I have a few words. We got on COD World War II today. Tried to play a match of zombies.
And that's when they hit it, though. So I'm saying that's when they hit us.
Right.
I had him blocked, and we got punished. Not only that I had him blocked, I had blocked a lot of different everything that I could think of. And I blocked him back after I messaged him, and he got pissed. He yammered on. I'm looking back at all of his messages. He is lethally anal that we're offering him something that he should be in power and objected to getting. Saying things like, you don't offer me anything. I offer you the chances back. because you're under the Brotherhood of Steel. You're under me. He had me in all caps. Like he was fucking being, what's it called? I still think he and Alloy are boyfriends or some shit because it just doesn't really make any sense to me. How they both could be the same way, but Eric's the only one that sits here and does that.
Right. And they're so close for some damn reason, but
it's depressing. I must say so. But I'm not going to worry about it because now they've just given me a reason not to, you know.
I.
I was going to leave the game anyways until, still shit happened. And they, so, there we go. We finally got it. We finally got what we needed. And now we're finally over, I guess. Sorry, I'm not really being super chatty right now.
I'm not
doing
either.
a lot of configuring.
But like, it's a real damn shame that just the simple act of playing a video game on a console is forbidden anymore because of
either players get ass hurt or they're just playing the game at this point. Like I said, if you play Grand Theft Auto on Xbox, you're 90% more likely to get DDoS, hacked, and shit stole from you than you are to be a banker. It's pretty bad.
it's also really bad. The only game, why does Xbox One have offline capability anyway? The only game I've ever been able to play offline in my life has been Fallout 4 on a disc.
Nope, and that's soon going to change.
What the hell's going on in there?
Yeah, your parents just yelling at each other. Kind of does.
Oh God.
I really don't want to have to deal with this bullshit anymore. The network settings that makes your Xbox, your systems do their job, and all this other stuff. I'm not really interested in doing this crap anymore. It's I could link it, but I don't have it because I took these SD cards. Once they leave their Xbox, they're done. Once the SD card leaves your not Xbox, your Nintendo, I don't think they work anymore. I took them out because I have data on there I could use for something else. But it's a Toshiba, or one of them was a Kodak, I think, and that was okay, great. What you do? They give it to you, but look, it's Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story plus Minion. But again, we gave them a chance and we were nice. And again, you got to remember, in games like this, Bromby, you be nice, you get trampled, you get squashed, you get stomped. I've also been told that because I'm a nice person, I'm gay. So, by other people. Level 300 showed it to me and said, quit being nice, you're making the high levels look queer. Like I was doing something illegal. I told him to go away. I said, maybe you are, because you're the one that's telling me to stop doing your job. I told him it was your job to help low level. I'm not the gay one, you are, because you're telling me to stop.
Right.
I reported it at Bethesda, but things happen, man. And like I said, we were being nice to two guys in their group, and they would have willingly screwed us over and even had us killed, as you know before. These little bastards are so mean. the other players in the game, they'll have you. They'll pay someone to try to kill you, or at least hack you if you pissed them off. So it looks like I got DDoS or doxxed. Who knows? I don't even know anymore because they do both at the same time. They cut your shit off, and then if you manage to get it back on, you're met with a denial of service. It's called denial of service, and then DDoS is something that it's extra
direct denial of service attack or something like that.
They're attacks, but they're used by companies as well in a legal standard to, again, like Microsoft's permaban. I mean, you got on a chat every day and popped off the N-word, and you got banned like 4 times. 2 months of after 2 months of silence. If you do it again, they give you a DOS. Permanent. Your account, your Xbox is just a shell. You don't have an Xbox account. You can just get rid of it because you couldn't be a good person and stop being racist on the Xbox chats. Just after 2 months, it's permanent. That would, I'm surprised they let you give you 2 months. In that scenario, I know you wouldn't do that. I don't do it.
Right, I know.
The only time I've ever used that word was with a friend of mine who is black, and he was cool with it. He said, "You can call." He said, "Call me that if you want. I don't care." They then became great friends. He said, "It brings me power." Someone calls me. I was like, okay. He's fine with it. I didn't, because there's times where you just get mad and you say something, and then everyone just stops what they're doing. They're like, "Did you just?" Yes, I did. And then you're awkward, and everyone's kind of staring at you like they're gonna fuck you and then kill you. I'll go over a word, but I only said it once. So a bunch of his friends, they were all black, and they hung around each other. They had a jolly good time. But to me, I was family. Me and them, I'm more family because of what I've done for him, his crew. Again, when you're active duty, white male at the tank, and you've shown up and done things for a literal crew and family of black people, they'll treat you like family afterwards. And I can tell you exactly what I did was I mentioned gang members. I was already there doing something and military related. That you have to turn your what's it called? You have a tank as a PV or a personal vehicle. You kind of have to plug that shit up. Well, I kind of got away with doing 2 things. I made a attachment that take the barrel. The barrel has a extended piece that basically screws in, kind of sort of thing. Well, I put something that I call a cap. It goes over the edge of the barrel, but has a cylindrical object that's attached to it, and you basically just stick it in. It corks the barrel. It can be taken off, but it's the standard. And I put one of those in the port that you put the shell in. And that's one of those. You can lock the trap door thing. My brain's not working. I don't remember what it's called. But the hatch. You can lock the hatch over the thing I call them cap. They just go on the barrel and they don't come off. I mean, you can weld them if you wanted to. At one point, I actually had a screw-on barrel attachment where I welded the other one off and was gonna screw that one in. I was going to bore out the barrel to screw it in, piece that would not be solid. I was like, this is cheaper, and if I can get it worked up, I can still use my tank if war actually happened. And sure enough, a friend of mine in the police force at the time, right after the academy, and he was already kind of high up on the ranks when he called me in. He said they were getting sick of these gangs that were showing up in this area of the city that I live near. They just showed up and they started opening fire in the crowds of people. So they'd wait until big events show up, and then they started shooting me with assault rifles. And they were like, and my friend they were just kind of having a fit about it. The police were like, they were kind of getting sick of going and calling men in and losing at least wounded, but some died. Not soldiers, but they even, like the police officers, they even had a couple that were veterans that went into the police force, and then they were pinned down. And eventually they said enough's enough, and my friend's like, I'll make a phone call. Just don't get mad at him when he shows up and tears something up. I got the okay to drive my tank in there armed. They evacuated the civilians calmly, and I hate to say it in the most sadistic way possible, but I love watching people with guns run away from me when they know they're on the receiving end of an artillery round. They know. So when it hits the ground, it'll smoke up. Not only will it kill the villain, but if any of them actually don't die from the explosion that it literally lobbed right behind one dude, he died from the shrapnel. But if some of them didn't, they got up, they can't see shit. And the smoke is poisonous. It's mustard gas. I got in so much trouble for that too. Billy gas, mustard gas. I can do napalm too. No. So I ran a military group for 8 years before Iraq. Of my own. I had a military for hire. That's what we were. We dubbed ourselves the gas mask infantry. And all we did was go in and what we called painting the town orange. We did some really bad thing, and we're guns for hire for military groups. So we're kind of not okay to do that, but we're still okay to do that because you see the bricks of C4, they're orange, and you're like, what could go wrong, right? Oh, look, it's napalm. Okay. So what could go wrong? Turned about everything went wrong. But we have a bomber plane that William currently owns. He owns a version of it, but we had our own Dodge Hellcat bomber, and it dropped basically a nuclear warhead, but it wasn't nuclear, but it was full of napalm. So when it went off, it was like you dropped a bunch of fucking oranges onto its city. If you need, it would only blow up a small city like. And this is gonna sound weird saying it out loud. It would level the town of Memphis or a small Iraqi city or whatever, something small. That's small compared to what we have nowadays as a military in a modern warfare planet. That's small. Usually the biggest thing there. I mean, seeing a Dodge Hellcat or a German Spitfire flying overhead in the B-17. The B-17 was the ask, and it only then again could level Chicago or Boston or D.C. with no problem. But it had to drop all of the payload to get a good reading. And then we got Dodge Hellcats, Spitfires, dogfight. Oh, look, a tiny nuke on the wing of this one. What are you doing? Nuclear warfare. I am become death. This dude's crazy. Oh, look, he actually did tests already. Okay, let him go. Go crazy. I am become death. That red button and everything blows up. Nagasaki and Hiroshima gone. Who? Oh, you mean Chernobyl? No. Something different. That's kind of how I perceive that happening, though. Because Chernobyl was, I think, after that, way after that. So imagine some people in Chernobyl. Somewhere, someone said, where's Nagasaki at? As they're getting nuclear vape from the radiation. Huh. I didn't know there was such a thing. Oh, look, the reactor just exploded. Shit. Just honestly what's happening. You gotta think about it. That was recent. Sort of. You look back on war, but long story short, I was okay if I tore up some buildings or some empty cars or other stuff. I mean, I was flat out. These guys were so bad with what they do. Small terrorist attacks. They were seen in other cities. They would steal vehicles and giant trucks that were heavy, and they would try to kill millions of people with them. So when my tank showed up and they realized after hitting my truck with a rocket launcher, how I don't know, I was like, oh look, they're Nazis, great, I'll have fun doing this. They hit me with a rocket launcher like point blank, practically, for the round. It hit where it needed to hit. I was like, aw, they're trying to hit me with toothpicks. And then they took a dump truck and ran into me. That dump truck exploded. I didn't have to shoot it. The impact was too much for the engine. Those engines front. Good job. I crushed 3 cars, ran over 600 of their men, and I bumped into a building, a small apartment-ish complex. I don't think it was really an apartment complex, but I hit it, and it caused a hole in the wall. And I made a Nickelodeon reference because it just now I do at least. I was okay if it happened because again, you called me in, okayed me to do so for the sake of pest control. That's what my friend called it. I was like, okay, I can do that. I love my tank. Sherman. I've had a Sherman, I've had an Abrams, and now I currently have a railgun. And wait, a lot of viewers here are like, how? If one country in the world has supposedly been close enough to having a railgun tank, please remember, this is America. We do things.
Yeah.
We do things. I actually got a hold of something that ended up becoming a railgun tank. But railguns, the concept of railgun doesn't even really mean anything anymore. Again, the country that I'm talking about, I think they use plasma. Mine's plasma and electricity. It shoots lightning. Seriously. There should be code named it Macedon, but we have one in the making right now, Brahma. I just actually declassified that by men. We kind of have slowed down. We call it white. It's a pure white tank. Shoots a ghostly blue lightning bolt. It's like a Tesla gun. It runs a Tesla. It charges up and it goes and buzzes like a damn hornet and it goes. And it can shoot multiple bursts if you hit it 100. It's like a Tesla coil on treads. It's so scary to think about one of those fucks up. But we're only letting it drive. We're not using it at all for any reason because, again, like the Macedon Fortress, a tank based off the German Nazi tread fortress, which I don't remember what it's called, but I'm going to try to figure it out, where there's basically 4 tank treads and huge as fuck, and it took thousands of men to run. We did that, but made it a command fortress. So there is a cannon, but it's more used of existing. It goes so fucking slow, 5 miles an hour per tread. 5, 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. That's very slow for a tank. Compared to nowadays where you hit the desert sand, it can't go in any unstable land you put it on and it's screwed. It's swamp.
Ooh.
We have a theory that it will swamp itself in the desert anywhere but road. It'll crush a bridge. It doesn't go anywhere right now, in case you didn't notice.
Yeah.
It weighs enough it's big enough to hold 2 Titanics, and it weighs about 4 of those. You could put a B-17 in cargo hold. That's how big the fucker is. So again, if you can grab if it weighs about 2 Titanics, and we can put a B-17 in the cargo hold, and maybe if we're lucky, get some cargo before it, and it only goes 20. You tell me how fast that is, really, for a tank that big. There are tanks that might survive, go a little faster, whoop-de-doo for them, if that's the case. 20 miles an hour in a tank that big, you're basically a snail.
Yeah.
Now, here's the good news. All these certain tanks labeled Macedon are nuclear resistant. We know, so we've done it. The one I mentioned, White Lightning, and the one I currently have, was Macedon X, was who I dubbed my tank, the Atomic Ranger. That's in my shed out back that I told you about. That's more than a shed, but we'll just talk about it like that. It's been blasted with a nuke before. It's been hit ground zero. Suffered okay damage. I think the only problem then was with the decon. I think decon was my biggest concern. It reached a ground zero. If you know how hot ground zero is, it's just surreal. Being in a tank, when you hear the words nuclear strike imminent in your head, it's like, I know they're going to hit me with it. Don't panic. It's not the nuclear warheads we have nowadays, like missiles. They drop those little bombs.
Oh God!
That small one,
Like,
not the the little bitty ones that we would joke and say that's a real world mini. It's little bitty. They're adorable until you see what they do, and you're like, oh. And then in real life, they're actually bigger than they look too. I want to mention that. Fallout edition of the mini nuke versus the one in Megaton. That's how big these things are. The one in Megaton's exactly that big in real life. Those are huge, but they're not the biggest that we've made. We just done a planet. It was the atomic bomb, the hydrogen bomb, and then the next one on the list is our bomb. Oh God, God help Russia, please. They're compensating. I feel like they're compensating something. Because our bomb is the biggest bomb in the world and the most lethal. It'll likely go up in smoke when it comes time for World War III. It will end the planet. Russia's like, you have one little candle, American. We have big candle. Yes, big candle.
big candle.
Got, like 4 bottles of vodka. You got nothing like big stupid. No, nothing under the candle. Because Russia. Russia reminds me of, and I'm not saying this to be country-based racist or sexist. Russia reminds me of the can-do spirit of a femina. Anything you can do, I will do better. Good luck with that. And Russia's like, thanks. Oh wait, you beat us to the moon. But we'll build a bigger bomb than you during the Cold War. One of which the world doesn't dare change. Oh boy. But you got little candle, we got big candle. It's huge. I mean, I've seen the motherfucker. It's huge. I mean, and again, you think our tanks are big? Again, the Nazis had the fortress. It was really big. It's huge. And then they had the cannon that was like a house. Held out off. What? Yeah. I mean, the things you look up World War II tanks, you'll see some of the tanks, and you'll kind of get a gist of these said tanks. You'll really understand. It doesn't matter which side you go on. You'll really get what's going on when you see these tanks, and you see it, and you're like, "Oh, how cute, a tank!" And then you see all the people that are inside the tank, and you're like, "Oh, how cute! There's people in that." And then you really get to thinking. That's how many people are needed to run that big thing. Tanks are brutal. We have, actually I want to mention this too, Brian, right now as we speak. I'm not going to go out there because the sound of loud machinery and the view of a German, that little tank that was like, what's that tank called that's flat? It's flat. And it has a side gun only. We found ourselves one of those recently. Me and Amber. We were out doing something, and I know of a place that has a military junkyard. And I was just like, okay, well, let's go see what they're doing, because they usually, I'm on a call for them every time they find a Jeep or a Humvee. Amber's Humvee came from there. Yeah, she likes it more than the van now, because the van was totaled. Best fan you could ever get me. I love you, dear. Love you too, Amber. But we got one of those tanks recently that's fucking flat. Or what it's called. And they're flat and they had the side turns. They were using Indiana Jones. So you'll probably know which one I'm talking about. I think it was specifically that tank, but maybe not the one used in the movie. It just looks so funny looking. You just really wonder. And back then, that was tanks. Tanks were new, even then. Tanks are still a new thing. You gotta remember the Sherman was a thing. Anyone plays that video game on Xbox, that's a called, that's tanks, planes, and boats. I played it a bit. I didn't like it too much because people got sneakier than they should be getting sneaky, and the game wasn't really my thing, if that makes sense. It just wasn't my thing.
Right.
No shame to anyone who plays it, but anyone that plays that game knows a little bit more about the military than I think they should as well. A lot of that stuff is legit. The company for that group actually goes to the detail of, they actually went to that detail of making, make everything realistic. To drive the tank there, like the accurate to driving a tank IRL. With some exceptions, like you're not going to smell dude next to you, and there's no such thing as AC in a video game.
Yeah.
Tank. So some of that's very realistic, but you also got to remember how close together you are. The guy in the turret, the turret thingy, the main turret, it has a dude in it. So, good luck there. You're an armored head. You're running that tank, and there's like either 1 to 2 dudes on that side, and they reload it. It's amazing. Indiana Jones did a good job.
But yeah, tanks were not very roomy. They were made for.
No, they weren't.
They
But
were
they're
made for
armored.
one task. They were made for one
Ain't nothing
task, and
more
people were
sexy than armor.
cram-packed in there.
Oh yeah, packed you in like a sardine. Good luck, friend. Good luck. Don't die. It's well, if I had a chance, good luck. Don't die, because you likely might if you're not careful. I think it was a Panzer. I'm trying to figure out what they're fucking called. Like I said, I'm not going out there. I will not go out there because, again, they're doing their job. They're actually allowed in my bunker. They're going to try to find a spot in the garage so I can fix it, because they said it only rolls. It doesn't do anything else. But from what I was told, they basically were out doing a mission or something, and they just saw it in the dirt. That shit happens. There's tanks that are stuck at the beaches with their guns aimed somewhere, and something happened, explosions. There's tanks in the swamp. There's a nuke in the swamp. And to this day, no one knows where it is or won't go get it. There's some scary shit when war happens.
Oh yeah.
There are a couple million or more landmines all over the world right now. Oh, here's one. That may be it. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh, look, a little minesweeper. Oh, it's so cute. It's a tank, but it's little bitty. It finds mines. Oh, it's a mine tracker. Oh, is she a cutie? It's like, look, Mom, I could be a Nazi now. What is it doing? It's looking for explosives. Why? Yes.
Yes.
Proud of you, son. You got a lethal weapon tracker. I love that. They're cute, though. I kind of saw it as that tank. You know what I mean? The one I mentioned. But this one apparently tracks landmine. Huh. It's so cute, though. And it looks like it ran on a cord. I found a thing. So what I understand is the operator used the joystick to remotely guide the Goliath via a 2.145 foot 3-strand cable. And then what? Oh, it's on like little. How cute! It even has a little. What's it called? You use your truck to get out of the mud. It's got one of those, but for cord.
A hook?
It's adorable. It engine and everything to run it via fan.
Huh.
It blew shit up. In other words, it was a mine tank. It blew shit up. It didn't just cry. It's so cute. It's adorable. I was on the receiving end. That motherfucker, that's probably the last thing I would say is, oh, I'm going to die to a mine tank. You little bitty German weapon. It's adorable, though. It's like, be about as big as Alice, maybe. That's dangerous now that I think about it. Alice, can I use you as a mine, please? She's looking at me like I'm not eating a scream. There's a bunch of cool tanks that people don't know about. The Sherman, little bitty tank. Little bitty, like 1 to 2 people. That's it. A tank could literally run one person on the machine gun mount that just so also happened to be on the same spot where the tank had its main turret. But it was kind of cool to look at for a little bit. Would I have ridden in it? No. But if you were like one of those guys that I'm a lone wolf, well, you still have to have 2 people. So, okay, fine. I'll take that dude. You can be my gunner. Deal. And you were unprotected. You just standing there on a platform. Reload. And the other guy was like, doof. And you had to hold on, too. Your tanks recoil hard.
They got a lot of force going behind them.
Oh, yeah. They got force. Abrams will raise itself up when it shoots. The recoil makes it like it's pretty neat to see how tanks work though. The idea is though, I also want to mention that those who play Grand Theft Auto, in a way, you're welcome. The one that's a railgun in Grand Theft Auto 5 is based off the tank that we based our tank off. So, or it's a model we gave to them that was actually a prototype of the one that we know now is massive, which is great. I mean, I didn't care because the prototype one didn't really go anywhere, so I'm actually surprised that they used, and that was probably the last time we gave anything to Grand Theft Auto. So, those who are watching, you're welcome. That's what the Mastodon tank would have looked like and would have functioned in the game. We didn't give them a whole lot of details. Again, that was just a picture. Had nothing on it. So they didn't know how it would work. So, now, am I saying that the way it worked in the game is the way it would work IRL? No. But I'm actually giving them props for figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, it's not going to hurt to give them a bit of credit, right?
Right.
Let's go talk about the fucking German armored train. They're basically gold bars. Look like fucking gold bars. They had guns all over them. and then they had one that was like, the train was so fucking outrageously large, it took 2 train tracks. You had to lay a secondary set of track to use it.
Damn.
You heard me right. That fucker ran on 2 sets of track. And it didn't do anything. It was kind of a one shot, you're done. It was so stupid in design, but back then, war, nothing is stupid. So, we could also talk about the Churchill. We had a flamethrower mound. I don't have a Churchill. There it is. There it is. The World War II. It's you know what I mean. It's a little tank, and it's like it's oval shaped. It kind of looks like an arrowhead in a way. You know what I mean. If you watch Indiana Jones, you'll know what it is. It's got the side gun mount on this one battery that has like 2 guns on this side, 2 guns on that side, and yet I don't think it even had an actual turret on the top like normal tanks do. Like it couldn't have been a normal tank, but it was a normal tank. That was one of the ones we got, where it's like side shooting. Yeah, if you played Crossout, you might be able to buy one and make it a war again for no reason. We're talking about those kind of tanks, by just to give you the best way I can explain. I don't know what they're called. We're going to be painting it infantry colors and probably give it something dangerous that you don't want to tank or be on the receiving. We also think
it's probably a stretch, but is it the Mark VII tank?
Yeah. No, actually IV. If I recall correctly, the documents say IV. It could be a VII. I mean, the documents look like it's IV, but...
Most notable thing about that is the treads are fucking huge compared to the body.
Well, yeah, but again, it was more metal. It was more metal than the tread. I'm going to be changing a lot of it, though. Like I said, the treads are going to get changed when I get a hold of it. So, never fear, a German, now American tank is here. I'm going to be changing it a little bit. As we have a separate set of tank. We have special treads that I have right now in the bunker waiting. And I told him, asked him to get it set up, and I'm fine. You get it put where I can do my job, I'll do my job. I will fix that tank up myself. Very fun, very fun. But getting in front of these things and really getting into the view of a tank, you really get to really see, I mean really, really, really get to understand every bolt and rivet that you may see in a tank movie. That's legit something that's part of the tank. So, in other words, if your tank loses its tread, you're fucked. You're fucked. That's usually what people will do, aside of actually trying to shoot you to death. They'll try to knock your treads off.
Yeah, they'll try to knock off the treads.
Because you have to manually repair them. Where? Not in the... I don't know. So, yeah. Right, we're still rolling.
Yep, we're still rolling.
Be muted a couple times. I go downstairs and have the fan. But there...
Okie dokie.